Getting ready for safari. This is the Wild Eye Podcast. Hey everybody, my name is Gerry. I'm from Wild Eye, and in this episode, I am gonna just talk. Kind of strange for a podcast, right? No, so where this came from is I've spoken to quite a few people over the last while since I was in Chicago, New York, talking about travel, what to do, how to plan. And I'm currently in the process right now of planning for a safari. I'm leaving on Saturday morning. No, lunchtime. Flying to Kenya, overnight there with the client, and then we go Masai Mara for a few days, Serengeti for a few days, back to South Africa for one night, and then South Africa for 4 nights, Sabi, and then she flies home. Pretty cool itinerary. Now, I've done 1 or 2 trips in my life. I've been on a few planes in my life. Yet still, there's always this planning thing that needs to happen. So for whatever value this is to you, here is kind of what I need to do to get ready for a trip like this. So Tuesday today, I've got a couple of days. Now, the first thing is before I go on a trip, so there's a couple of elements. There's personal, there's planning, and there's the office side of it. So the first thing here is today or tomorrow, I will meet with Tanya. So Tanya runs our private guided stuff. So she does all the back end for that. She's going to do a full handover with me. Here's your flights. Here's your itinerary. This is where you have to be. Joni's arriving this date, blah, 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 blah. So I know where I'm going. She gives me 1 or 2 things I have to take with. I leave them on my desk. And hopefully on Friday, I remember to take it with me. That's cool. So I do that rest of the week. So then I start thinking ahead. Okay, cool. Let me start at home first. What do I need to make sure of? Is there enough food for my fish? Like I need to go and buy pellets for the fish because I'm away for a while. I need to treat the pool before. I need to clean the pool so that for the 2 weeks while I'm away, it doesn't turn into pea soup. Then I start thinking, okay, when do I pack? So I'm not a big plan in advance, pack in advance type of person. I've had moments where I fly to the Masai Mara for a Masai Mara week at our camp where I'll pack at 8 o'clock. I leave for the airport at 9. So I'll probably on Friday morning, I might work from home because I'm going to go for a haircut, which is part of the planning, on Friday morning. I'll then come home, and then from the haircut, I'll go and to Dis-Chem, which is a big pharmacy chain. I will go and do all the shopping. It's funny, we spoke about it here the other day. Every single trip you go on, you need new toothpaste. It's crazy. Look, you can't just... So I've got my travel vanity case bag thing, and in there, so I need to make sure I've got deodorant, toothpaste, all the general stuff, shampoo, this, that, the other. Make sure that's done. So that's also on Friday. I have already got, I'm getting quite painful with that, I've already got a reminder on my phone to check in for my flight. I know that I'm flying Kenya Airways, who can check in 36 hours before, which is quite handy. That's on my phone. So that'll all happen on Friday. Then the planning ahead goes further for me on this one because I know that I'll look through the diary ahead, and I know that when we come to South Africa, we're going to be driving to Sabi. So Joni's going to come with me in my vehicle. So I've got to make sure that it's clean and full because I'm going to get home at like 2 o'clock in the morning. We leave that next morning at 7. Right? So I've got to plan ahead for that. Then I'm thinking, okay, back to today. I need to look at photography side. So number 1, what gear am I taking? I'm thinking, okay, it's East Africa, so I need bigger glass because things can be further away. So I'm thinking, okay, cool, I'm going to take 2 camera bodies. I'm going to take my 600mm, I'm talking converted here because I'm 4/3. I'm taking my 600mm, I'm taking my 80 to 300 2.8 and maybe 1 wide, and then my phone for my super wide and video. That's cool. Then I think, okay, when was the last time I've had them cleaned? No, they should still be cool because I haven't been to dusty areas for a while, so that's sharp. Do I need anything from Olympus here? Because I need to touch base with them before a trip in order to see what kind of content I can send to them. What do they need from the field? But no, I don't need anything from them this time, like a new charger or a new battery, whatever the case is. So photography-wise, that should be fine. During the next few days, I will probably then pack my camera bag, so it's nice and small because it's mirrorless. I'll make sure that I've got enough memory cards. I'll format those memory cards, but not before checking that there's anything on there that I've missed, because that sucks. And I'll format them. I'll get them ready. I'll charge the batteries up so the camera bag's ready to go. That'll probably happen in the week, one night, right? Because where I work at home, my coaching stuff that I do at home, I've got my office in the top, cameras on the side. So one night when I'm finished with the coaching stuff, I will pull that and I'll pack that ready to go. Then I will decide later towards the week back to photography, software-wise. So I'll make sure before every single trip that I go, I'll take my laptop and I'll go and check, is there any updates I need to do? Adobe, Photoshop, Lightroom, Bridge, whatever I'm going to use. Camera Raw, big one, Camera Raw. I will then also look at Nik and Topaz and all the filters and plugins I have and make sure everything's updated. I'll also, as a final check, just make sure that there's not an OS operating system update, 16.1 or whatever it is, so that I know that when I get on the plane, my computer's up to date. Some areas, and I haven't had this in a while, where there's no signal. Sometimes if you haven't logged on to Adobe for a while, it pops up and says you can't work anymore because you haven't been online. So I will normally, the morning in the hotel where I'm staying, the morning before I go out, I'll log on, I'll open everything once and I'll close it so that at least I've got time if I'm going to an area where there's no signal. Svalbard comes to mind. Okay, so then the rest of the week will carry on. I will then look ahead in the office. I'll look ahead and say, okay, cool. What meetings is coming up in the office that I need to be involved in or that need something from me? Probably on Wednesday evening, I'll send a mail to the guys and say, listen, Thursday is probably my last day in the office. So if you need anything from me, let me know, and work ahead for the next week. Then that's the office side of things. Yes. But the day before, I will touch base with the company I'm going to on the other side. So this time, in this instance, Wild Eye, Kenya, Billy, and then will fetch us from the airport. That's fine. And then my client's with me for the whole time. If I know the guide on the other side that's guiding us, I will reach out to them. Just find out about sightings. How's it going? Just touch base. If not, I will normally, when I get to the lodge, wherever we're going, I'll connect with the guide to make friends and to make them understand, I'm not here to steal your thunder. We're working together on this. So that's a big deal for me. Then, what date is it now? 28th. So I would then normally say, okay, cool. I'm away from the 1st until the 16th, 15th something. And I'll say, okay, cool. What financial things for me happens in that time? Are the debit orders cool to run? Did I need to pay anything specific? If I need to pay it, will I have time for it and internet for it? And I'll make a note on my phone so that comes up. So I can do those in the evenings. So the kind of home admin stuff. When I go to Dischem, previously as well, I'll look for things like just my kit. Do I have something for the stomach, headache tablets, and so on and so forth, vitamins? Actually, I need vitamins. That's all part of that planning process. Now, if I'm going to an extreme place, like a Svalbard or an Iceland, or even in Mana Pools during October when it's hot as fuck, I will go and I'll get, what do they call it? A jet fuel drip with an immune booster. So it's a 30-minute drip, just boosts you. It's a B12. It boosts your immune system because I know that travel makes you tired, long days makes you tired. And if you're going to extremes of heat and temperature, that can be quite draining as well. So I'll normally do that. For this one, I'm not going to. It should be quite easy paced. Famous last words. But that would normally be it. Then on Friday night, by the time I go to bed, I would want to have everything packed more or less. So I'll have my camera bag, which should be ready already, packed, charged, clean, ready to go. I will then have my check-in bag, which has, normally I'll take 2 pairs of shoes and maybe my Birkenstocks for around the room in the lodge. I will have my fellies, my leather safari boots, if you will. That sounds very 1980s, safari boot. It's a nice shoe, right? It's a freedom of movement Veldskoen. I will then pack, obviously underwear, socks, everything. I have certain things that always goes in. Like, for this 2 weeks, I'll probably take 2 or 3 pairs of pants. All my safari shirts, that's the easiest thing. We've got these Wild Eye shirts, these kind of things actually. And I'll pack 4 or 5 of those because they wash very easily. Make sure I've got a hat, binoculars. I will always check if I need my tripod depending on the trip. For this one, I do not think I'm taking it, but I must just check. Are we shooting stars? I think we are actually. So I'll stick that in there and I'll leave it open in the spare room with my camera bag next to it. Next morning, final check, have a look at it, pop in the vanity bag after you've brushed your teeth and everything, zip it up, and then go from there. For this one, I'm going to take, because I'm not taking too much camera gear, what I try and do is I'm going to try and take, from a travel point of view, I'm going to try and put my camera gear in my backpack because in there I've got my laptop, my iPad, and my, what would it be? It's a tech pouch from, what's that brand called? Anyway, not a click lead. I'll think about it now. Tech bag with all my cables. That's in my backpack. So I could put all my camera gear in there as well with me, carry it with. I will then take my camera bag and I will normally pack that into my check-in luggage, filled up and everything. It's empty. Right? And when I get there, so it's easier to travel internationally like that rather than managing all this big stuff. When I get there, at the hotel in the evening, I'll unpack and resort for the day. That's kind of the prep for the whole before part of the trip. Trying to think if I'm missing something. That's it. Oh, what I would also normally do then from a phone point of view is I would check where I'm going to. Do I have a SIM card for the place? Kenya, I have a SIM card, but mine would have expired because I haven't been there for a while. So I'm going Kenya, Tanzania. I use Airalo, and I'll get eSIMs for each. I can buy them in advance and just activate when I get there. So I've got communication. If there's anything specifically that I need to do from a content point of view in the field, and I am going to send stuff to Wild Eye, I might produce or create a couple of pre-designed banner type images, story images in Adobe Express, have them on my phone if I need them. Other than that, that's about it for before. Get to the airport, and then I've got my little rituals there that I do, but we'll talk about some other time. When I then get back, let's jump to the back part of the trip because it's not preparing. Coming back, the first day back, I would literally take the entire bag, empty it into the washing, and do that. I'll unpack the camera gear. It should have been downloaded because I never travel home without downloading 2 copies at least. And then pack that away. If there's anything dramatic wrong or dirty, I will immediately get it to Olympus. They're amazing to get it sorted, cleaned, because then I know it's ready for the next trip. And once I then get home and I've unpacked, I will take a break from my images for a week or so. I might pull a few just for social or for marketing for the company, but I don't look at them for the first week or so, just a break, because I still believe that if you're emotionally invested in a sighting, I think your judging of your images are going to be skewed. You're going to be emotionally compromised and select images based on emotion, not on actual image quality. So I normally take a break. I do want to get some distance from the trip, and then I start looking at the images. That's about it. Hey, that's my kind of thought pattern now before a safari. I'm just trying to think if I'm missing anything. I would also normally, I've been chatting to the client all the time, but I would normally I would look ahead at the weather in all the places I'm going to and just double check if there's any outlying anomalies. Do we expect a thunderstorm? Take that kind of stuff with, have a jacket. But the normal safari packing for me covers pretty much everything in Africa. Uganda might be an outlier because there's different shoes required. But when I go international, it's a whole different story. We can talk about it another time. But yeah, that is just a very short rundown of kind of what's in my mind right now about the travel side of things. If you have any questions, let me know. I can do one on packing or after or during as well. I am actually, let me just pull an email up for you quickly here. I am actually looking at doing it's 97.24% confirmed. I'm going to be doing a nature photography masterclass in Chicago later this year. I'm going to quickly find this for you, what I wrote out. Because in October, I'm heading back to the US. I'm going to be presenting in Boston, Chicago, New York. Chicago, there's 2. There's The Secret Life of Animals, which is 2.0, the upgraded version, which includes practical elements as well. And then this masterclass in which I am going to be doing the following. Let me see if I can pull this email here quickly, because I'm quite psyched for this. Mara, just get down to it. Read more. New workshops and presentation. Here we go. Nature photography here. So I'm looking at a 3 to 4 session workshop series that covers nature and wildlife from cradle to grave. It'll be anchored on a combination of 15 years of nature tours around the world as my own personal shooting and travel experiences. The 3 main sessions, before and after. Everything you consider when planning your trip, from gear to logistics, as well as when you get back. In the field, how to leverage everything from guides, logistics, travel, animal behavior, gear, weather to maximize your photographic opportunities, and then catalogs and edits and what to do with your gear and your photography afterwards. So that's kind of, I'm putting that together as a product. And down the line, once I've got it in, I might test some of it on you guys and just share some of it out. But I think there's big value in knowing how people plan for trips. Prepare and plan, pre-plan for trips. But yeah, if you have any questions, guys, that's where I'm at now. It's a busy week kind of prepping for safari. And I hope something in here could bring you some value. I think that's all I have for you now. So if you have any questions, let me know. Gerry@wildeye.com, wild eye with a hyphen in between the 2 words, or Gerry van der Walt on all the social media platforms. I'm going to get going because I have to plan for my trip. I'll chat to you in the next episode. My name is Gerry from Wild Eye. Have a good one. Bye for now.